Despite its worldwide fame and prestige, Alfa Romeo has always been a small company. One that you wouldn't expect to run an overseas assembly operation on the other side of the globe. But you'd be wrong. The Brazilian company F&M was a state-owned truck manufacturer that, under pressure from the country's president, entered the automobile sector by assembling under license the Alfa Romeo 2000 saloon. Launched in Brazil in 1960, the F&M 2000 was identical to its Italian sister, save for a reduced compression ratio in its four-cylinder engine, which was an evolution of the unit launched in 1950 with the 1900 saloon. Over the cast iron block sat an aluminum cylinder head with twin overhead camshafts and hemispheric combustion chambers, in the best Alfa Romeo tradition. The F&M 2000 was by far and away the most sophisticated and expensive automobile made in Brazil at the time, which ensured that yearly sales remained in the low hundreds during most of the decade. While the 2000 Ti and the TIMB were the first F&M models not to have an Italian equivalent, the most fascinating F&M model must certainly be the Coupé Onça. Its fiberglass body evidently took inspiration from the Ford Mustang and sat on a 2000 platform with a shorter wheelbase. While in Italy, Alfa Romeo was successfully riding the wave of new money that was being created during the country's economic boom, and in 1968 took direct control of F&M from the Brazilian government. The new era's first product was the 2150, a mildly refreshed version of the old saloon with an enlarged engine and a more modern interior, but a new model developed in Milan arrived in 1974. The new 2300 saloon wore an Alfa Romeo badge rather than the F&M logo, and at first glance it looked just like an Italian Alfetta, but the Brazilian car was substantially larger in all dimensions, and its four-cylinder engine was still based on the old 2000 block. While the 2300's basic chassis design remained very much rooted in the 1950s, disc brakes all around, a collapsible steering column, and a modern ventilation system were all welcome improvements. 1976 brought the improved 2300B and the luxurious TI's introduction, with a more powerful engine and upgraded cabin. But with its overall financial situation deteriorating at an alarming pace, Alfa Romeo sold its Brazilian venture to Fiat the same year. That didn't spell the end of the Alfa Romeo 2300 though, as Fiat kept manufacturing the model on Alfa's behalf until as late as 1986. The 2300 had never been a strong seller though, and its aging design made it severely uncompetitive in the face of 1980s competition. Alfa Romeo's swan song in Brazil was the 1985 model year, which incorporated a new front grille, new bumpers and taillights, but it was too little too late. Production of Alfa Romeo cars in Brazil stopped for good in December of 1986.